in British Columbia over the past number of weeks. We need to redouble those efforts going forward. We need to make sure that we're doing our part by listening to Dr. Henry and ensuring that we are self-isolating if we're not feeling well. We're exercising distances that are appropriate at this difficult time. And also, again, most importantly, continue to keep your hands clean, continue to work with your neighbors to make sure that they've got everything that they need. Working together, we're going to get through this. No one's going to lose their home. We're going to put some resources into the pockets of people so we can keep the economy going. I think we're on the right track. I know with everyone's support working together, we'll get through this.
There are new rules for Canadians returning home. The announcement comes as the government approves a COVID-19 bill to aid those impacted by the virus. Michael Couture has more from Ottawa.
After too many reports of travelers falsely reporting their health status just so they could come back to Canada, the health minister announced today she is going to use her powers under the Quarantine Act to force people to self-isolate for 14 days when they return from abroad. Those powers come into effect at midnight tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister said they will be gathering the information of travelers coming back to Canada and then will be following up with them just to make sure they stay home. Those who don't could face fines or arrest.
Government notice.
Also today, after negotiating quite literally all day and night, the government has a revised plan that it believes will help Canadians who are suffering economic effects of COVID-19. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the new program, called the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, will be combined with two other previously announced benefits to streamline the process. That process is expected to get up and running by April 6th. The Prime Minister says money should be going out to Canadians 10 days after filing their applications. This new benefit will provide up to $2,000 a month for the next 4 months, and it'll apply to people who are off work and without income as a result of the new coronavirus. Now, part of this is a wage subsidy program, but Canada continues to be criticized for not having as extensive of a program as other countries.
We are working with business groups. We are working with small businesses, hearing their concerns, looking very carefully at the models put forward in other parts of the world, like Denmark and Germany and others, and looking at how we can make that work or make equivalent things work here in Canada.
But for now, the focus is to get this first aid package through the Senate by the end of the day and to get the money in the pockets of Canadians as soon as possible. Michael Couture, Global News, Ottawa.
Metro Vancouver officials are shutting down Bray Island Regional Park in Langley as efforts to stop the spread of COVID-19 in the community ramp up. Our Nadia Stewart explains what led to the closure and what officials are saying about access to other parks.
There is a possibility more parks could close across Metro Vancouver if residents do not heed the warnings and take those instructions seriously to maintain a safe physical distance between people who are not members of your own household. Bray Island Regional Park is very close to Kwantlen First Nation, and the decision was made between the nation and Metro Vancouver to shut down the park. The campground in the park is also being shuttered. Now, the move was made to protect that community because people were still coming out to the park in large numbers, not maintaining that physical distance. This is why they say people can expect more signs up at parks, and if the warnings are not heeded, expect to see more parks across Metro Vancouver closed.
If you can stay indoors, stay indoors. If you need to go out, maintain a physical distance of at least 2 meters and wash your hands regularly. And so it's really that simple. And the difficulty that we're having now in some of our parks is those rules aren't being followed. We have staff in all of our parks monitoring. We have signs up now in all of our parks reminding people of those simple rules. Our park staff are reminding people as well when we see groups. If you arrive at a park and you're in your vehicle and there seems to be a cluster of people at the moment, stay in your vehicle. Wait until the people move into the park and then get out of your vehicle.
The regional authority says they have also received complaints from residents who've spotted folks gathering in parks near their homes. Hence the warning today, reminding people they need to take this seriously. If you're going to go out, you've got to maintain that physical distance. Nadia Stewart, Global News.
BC Ferries now asking customers to avoid all non-essential travel. The company is still sailing using the ferries to deliver supplies to isolated areas like the Gulf Islands and communities up north. But the CEO of BC Ferries says none of us should be traveling if it is not essential. Enhanced cleaning and disinfecting measures remain in place, and passengers are being allowed to stay in their vehicles on most decks. All food and retail services are closed. The Vancouver Aquarium announcing staffing cuts after shutting its doors to the public over a week ago. Oceanwise Conservation Association has laid off 60% of its workforce. That's 343 employees, the majority of whom work in operations. Animal care staff have not been affected, with a dedicated team tasked to look after the 70,000 animals living at the center. As a result of the closure, the company estimates it will lose $3.2 million a month in revenue, money that would normally go towards supporting animal care. Steve Nash Fitness World has let go of all of its employees, citing challenges posed by the novel coronavirus pandemic. In an email to staff obtained by Global News, it says all team members at its 24 locations were terminated as of Tuesday. The company had closed earlier this month amid the pandemic. The message states, while the company has explored all options to continue operations and protect our team members' continued employment, we do not see a way forward at this time, adding that details on final pay are coming later. Another financial casualty of the COVID-19 pandemic, Leon's Furniture announcing massive cuts. The furniture chain is temporarily laying off 3,900 employees. That's half of its workforce. 72 of its 205 stores will also close. The Toronto-based company that also owns the Brick says it will offer supplemental pay and extended benefits to laid-off employees. The stores that remain open will operate with limited hours. Online sales and delivery continue to function as normal. Taxi and ride-sharing companies say physical distancing is becoming too tough to enforce for drivers. Sunshine Cabs, one of the main companies in North Vancouver, decided to suspend operations on Monday. Some ride-sharing companies are also putting measures in place to protect drivers. Lyft telling Global News it is suspending shared rides and also distributing cleaning products and hand sanitizer to its drivers. The company says it also has a plan in place to financially support drivers who get sick or find themselves quarantined. Uber couldn't provide a spokesperson, asking people to check out their website.
Given the guidance and from provincial health authorities that we have to maintain a distance, social or physical distance of 2 meters, it became apparent that that would be impossible to achieve in our vehicles. Taxis, you're in an enclosed space.
Advocates on the downtown east side are worried about an unexpected problem: illegal drugs. It's one of the many side effects of this pandemic that's putting many at greater risk. Here's Sarah McDonald.
With our borders now closed to all but essential services, there's another health crisis on the horizon among drug users.
The downtown east side right now is in the middle of 2 crises. It's in the middle of a drug poisoning supply as well as like the COVID-19.
The supply of illegal drugs is drying up. Opioids and fentanyl becoming more difficult to come by and more expensive as demand surges, leaving safe supply advocates fearing a spike in overdoses.
I kind of think of it as like this whole toilet paper shortage that's happening right now. It's a lot of people that I'm talking to are saying that they're going to just buy as much fentanyl as they can and stockpile it.
Fears of transmission of COVID-19 also changing the way frontline workers are responding to overdoses. I
kind of think of it as like this whole toilet paper shortage that's happening right now. It's a lot of people that I'm talking to are saying that they're going to just buy as much fentanyl as they can and stockpile it.
Fears of transmission of COVID-19 also changing the way frontline workers are responding to overdoses. Increased testing in overdoses.
I kind of think of it as like this whole toilet paper shortage that's happening right now. It's a lot of people that I'm talking to are saying that they're going to just buy as much fentanyl as they can and stockpile it.
They have no idea what's going on. So many of them are sick.
Those already among the most vulnerable in the province, now even more so. Many here already living with underlying health and addiction issues, presenting unique challenges long before the pandemic. Sarah McDonald, Global News.
Many stores are allowing seniors to shop first thing in the morning, and now London Drugs is reserving the last hour for frontline workers. Starting today, the chain will give healthcare workers and first responders exclusive access to its stores from 8 to 9 at night, Monday to Saturday, and 7 to 8 p.m. on Sundays. Firefighters, police officers, paramedics, military, and hospital workers often work long days and find many stores closed by the time they're off. The rules apply to London Drug's 82 stores in Western Canada. Frontline workers will be asked to show employer ID or credentials to qualify.
Do like Tony.